greatness.
That Raila is. Now, the late Raila Odinga is credited as one of the architects of Kenya's push for constitutional reforms. From his role in the reintroduction of multi-party politics in 1992 to the fight for a new constitution in 2005 and 2010 to the Building Bridges Initiative BBI and the National Dialogue Committee NADCO, the late Raila has been seeking to fight for constitutional reforms that included clipping the excessive presidential powers. He was also keen on ensuring that resources are devolved to the counties. KTN's senior political affairs reporter Daniel Kariuki has more.
Raila Odinga's legacy in the struggle for constitutional rights and democracy goes back to the 1980s during the push for pluralism. In early 1990s, he joined other leaders in the Forum for the Restoration of Democracy, FORD, which successfully agitated for the return of multi-party democracy in Kenya. In 2002, Odinga threw his weight behind then-opposition candidate Mwai Kibaki after then-second President Daniel Moi decided to back Uhuru Kenyatta, son of the first President Jomo Kenyatta, as ruling party's presidential candidate. He thereafter advocated for constitutional reforms. His support for Kibaki was pegged on constitutional and political reforms. Although he expected widespread constitutional reforms and devolution, President Kibaki offered very little. Internal divisions within the ruling class over the executive during the Bomas constitutional talks led to the defeat of what was called the Bomas draft during the referendum in 2005. In the ensuing political drama, Raila led a splinter group that later came to be known as Orange Party into the 2007 elections, with Raila facing off with President Mwai Kibaki he had backed in 2002.
Tulikuwa na mwana Kibaki, na mimi nilisimama hapa kwa uwanja huu na nikasema Kibaki tosha. Sio. Leo hii nimerudi tena katika uwanja wa Kisumu tarehe 16 Disemba kusema Kibaki toka.
Kibaki won the contested elections that led to bloodshed and turmoil. The post-election violence that claimed over 1,400 lives saw the birth of the Grand Coalition government, where a power-sharing deal was arrived at through Kofi Annan-led mediation process.
I, Raila Amolo Odinga, in full realization of the high calling as the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya.
Through the arrangement, Raila was appointed Prime Minister with the government committing to carry out constitutional reforms. This was achieved with the proclamation of a new constitution in 2010, which was spearheaded by a committee of experts that produced the harmonized 2010 draft constitution. The final constitutional text included a two-tier power-sharing system with the creation of 47 counties. The new constitution saw the immense power of the president clipped after the formation of constitutional powers. Raila's push for constitutional reforms was once again reignited in 2018 through the Building Bridges Initiative, BBI. This initiative was the brainchild of President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga after the two leaders came together in what was then called handshake.
One of the things that comes from unity is for us to be able to sit together as Kenyans and say, let us look at those laws that govern us. Which are those laws that are good for all of us? Which are those laws that are not good for us as a country? And let us rectify them.
Hiyo ripoti ikitoka tutachapisha, alafu Wakenya wataangalia, alafu watatoa maoni yao, ndio baadaye tutaenda kwa mambo ya referendum.
The constitutional review effort, however, suffered a blow after the Supreme Court declared it unconstitutional. But even in the last years of his life, Raila continued to advocate for constitutional reforms, focusing on enhancing devolution and clarifying the roles of different government arms through the NADCO report. In 2025, the late Raila pushed for the transfer of National Government Constituencies Development Fund, NGCDF, to county governments to prevent the centralization of power in the capital. Daniel Kariuki, KTN.
Now, she was always by her father's side. From home